Thank you, sir.
Oh, okay, done. Right. Here, actually, when we look at any assembly language code, we can have few assembler directives. The purpose of assembler directives give directions to the assembler. Okay. Here, actually, usually we are going to use two segments. One is data segment and another one is code segment. So actually, what is the name of the data segment? Okay, we are telling to the assembler that is why in the first statement, we wrote it as assume space ds colon data. That means ds is the data segment. Name of the data segment is data, right? Similarly, CS stands for code segment. Name of that code segment is code. Okay. Suppose in our program, if you are going to write any data segment part and any code segment part, we are going to use those two words, data gap segment. Yes, in that actually data space ends. Okay, whatever it may be the data, we are going to keep it in those two lines. Okay, right. Data space segment, that is the beginning of the data segment, the starting point of the data segment, and the data NDS. NDS stands for end segment. Similarly, code segment and code NDS, that is end of the that particular code segment. Here, usually in data segment, we are going to declare the variables, any data type, right? So we should store that base address of first variable, right? Where it is going to be stored, base address of the first data segment is going to be stored in a register, DS register. That is why, yes, we are going to use the first two lines, that is move ax comma data, move ds comma ax. Because we cannot directly move the content into the ds registers, right? First, we have to move the base address of that particular data segments into one of the general purpose registers. We have to move that particular address into the DS register, data segment registers. That is the purpose of those first two lines. When we look at the last two lines, right, that is a kind of interrupt. Okay, we already discussed about interrupts, right? Yeah. Suppose if we want to terminate our program, right? That is why we are moving some specific code into the AH register. That means move AH comma force EH. That is the starting address of that particular interrupt routine. That is why we are moving that particular
I'm
Sir, we
sorry, your
can't.
voice is moved.
okay. That is why we are moving that particular parameter into the AH registers. After that, we are calling the interrupt int20h. Okay. The main purpose of the last two statement is to terminate a program, to terminate an assembly language code. Okay. That is actually this is the basic structure of any assembly language code. Okay. Suppose if you use a MASM assembler, right? This is the basic structure, right? Are you able to understand this basic structure of this particular code?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Suppose actually when we look at how do you execute this particular code? Oh, so to execute this particular code, name of this program is easy1 example1.asm. How do we execute it? First,
Sir, we can't hear you, sir.
MASM easy1.asm. Are you able to hear me?
Now, yes, sir.
Okay. MASM easy1.asm. That is the first command. Next, what it generates? It generates an OBJ file, right? Then we have to link that file, particular OBJ file. That means the next command is link easy1 dot obj. Then we'll get an executable file. Then we will get an executable file. Okay. Once we get an executable file, we can, if we want to execute using step-by-step procedure, then you need to use debugger, debug easy1.exe. Okay. Just I would like to show how can we do it. Okay, this is our code, right? Are you able to see the code? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Then actually, suppose here, what are we going to do? Yes. Now, our first command is masm easy1.asm. Yes, it generates an object file. Okay, easy1.obj. Right. After that, we have to link it by using a linker. Link easy1.obj object file. Then what will happen? It is going to generate an executable file. An executable file. Suppose if you execute easy1.exe, it simply executes it, right? Because you don't know what is going to be happen. Suppose actually because nothing is there in our code, right? Suppose if you want to execute step by step, then what we need to do is we need to use debugger. D-E-B-U-G, debug easy1.exe. Okay, now P stands for proceed. Next, proceed to the next step. Okay. Yes, first step is going to be executed. Actually, this is the next step. The next step is move ds comma ax. Okay. What is the first step? Move ax comma data. That means base address of that particular data segment is moved into the ax register. That is the first address, right? First step. Right. Next, after that, here you can see the registers, contents of the registers. What is there? AX. AX is 076A, right? Next, BX is 00, CX is something, and so on, right? BP is the base pointer, SP is the stack pointer, SI is the source index, DI is the destination index, DS is the data segment base register, ES is extra segment base register, SS stack segment base register, CS is the code segment base register, IP is the instruction pointer. Okay, are you able to see those registers? Actually, I cannot increase the screen size. Actually, I'm facing an issues with this when I use this DOS box. Right. Please, when you look at that particular screen, okay, you can see all the registers which are available in 8086 processors. All remaining things are the flags. Right. When we execute the next instruction, what will happen? See, okay, contents of the AX registers moved into the DS register. See, earlier AX is 076A, DS is 75A. In the next step, you can see that AX and DS registers both have the same value, right? Are you here with me? Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. When we execute the next step, proceed, then what will happen? Move AH comma 4C. That instruction is going to be executed. When that instruction is executed, what will happen? Okay, that 4C is moved into the AH register. See, you can clearly observe that AX has two parts. AH and AL, right? Yes, when we look at that, AX is 4C, AH is 4C, AL is the same as the previous one, right? 6A, right? ENT, interrupt. That particular interrupt routine is going to be executed. When that particular interrupt routine is executed, we come out from the particular loop. Program is terminated normally, right? When we proceed further, just we come out from that. Okay, this is the basic structure of any 8086 program. Suppose if you want to do the programs by using a MASM assembler, okay, this is a basic structure. Okay, I think you are able to understand the purpose of this particular simple program, right?
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
So when we do move AH, 4C, why are the contents of AX changing to 4C6A?
No. 6A is common, right? Actually, when we look at the previous register, right? What is the contents of AX register? When we look at the previous step, 076A, right?
Yes, sir.
So what is AH and what is there in AL? AH consists of 07, AL consists of 6A.
Oh, okay.
So in the next step, we are not going to change the contents of AL. We are changing only the contents of AH, right? Okay, because in the instruction says that we are moving AH comma 4C. That means we are moving 4C, that particular value into the AH register only. Okay, we are not disturbing the contents of AL register. That is why we'll get 6A as it is in the next step, right? Only
Okay.
07 is replaced with 4C.
Got it, sir.
Okay, then. Right. That is the first program, right? Okay. This is the basic program. First, actually, what you need to do is you have to execute this simple program. Next, second one. Yeah, this is the second program, right? Yeah, here we are performing some operations. Okay, when we look at this, here purpose of the first statement is same as the what we discussed in the previous program. Assume ds colon data comma cs colon code. So the variable data represents the data segment, code represents code segment, right? When we look at this data segment, okay, here we declared a few variables, okay, var1, that is variable 1, okay, width of that variable is dw stands for define word, db stands for define byte, dd stands for define double word. Okay, those are the assembler directives. Okay, so where length of this variable is 16 bits, that is why define word. Okay, you suppose if the length of that particular variable is 8 bits, we can write db. Instead of dw, we can write db, that is define byte. Right. So here var1, that is variable 1, and var2, that is variable 2. Next, here sum, we are performing the sum of these two variables stored in those two variables, and storing in the variable, we are going to storing that result in the variables sum1. Okay, and sum2. Sum1 and sum2 is used to store the sum of two variables. Okay, right. That is the purpose of that. Here also, we use the word do, right? Suppose here we are going to initialize that particular variable with 0. Later, we are going to update it. Okay, right. When we look at the code segment, this is the code segment, right? When we look at the first statement, okay, code segment start. Okay, we are going to start our code. Right. What is the first step? First two steps are same as the previous program. Move AX comma data, move DS comma AX. That means we are storing the base address of the data segment into the register into DS register. DS is a data segment register. That is why we are storing the base address of data segment into DS register. That is the purpose of the first two statements. Next one, when we look at the next next two statements, here move, when we look at the first next statement, move AX comma 1111H, 41H. Okay, in that context, we are moving that particular hexadecimal value into AX register. Okay, after that, that is which addressing mode that instruction going to use, usually we are going to use, that is called a immediate addressing mode, right? In immediate addressing mode, operand is available in the instruction itself. Next one is add AX comma 2222H. That means we are adding contents of AX with this particular value and we are storing the result into the AX register. After that, we are moving contents of AX into the variable sum1. Into the variable sum1. Right. Next, similarly, next statement is instead of reading the values, right? We are taking the values from the variables, right? Yeah. Next three steps are similar to the previous three steps. This is three steps, right? Here we are moving 1111 into the AX register. Later we are going to add 2222 to that particular value with the value of AX. We are storing the result in AX. Later we are moving that contents of AX into the variable sum1. Okay. Here in the next three steps, okay, we are reading the values from the variables, right? We are reading first, initially we are reading a value from the var1, variable 1. We are storing that particular value into the BX register. Later, yes, we are adding the contents of the BX with the value stored in the variable 2. Next, we are storing that result in the variable sum2. Clear? I hope that everyone can easily understand these six steps, right?
Yes, sir. In the first set, we're doing it with directly the operand is present there, and then next we're using.
Yeah, in the first set we are using the immediate addressing mode. In the next set we are using direct addressing mode. That's it.
So both are almost the same thing, sir. We can use immediate in the second one as well, right?
No. Reason is I want to explain something, that right. This is not the actual code. Okay. I want to explain how can we use the instructions, right? That is my intention.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, but both are valid and both will do the same thing, right? Each
Yeah,
subroutine.
here we'll get same thing.
Yes.
Yeah, I will show the answer also. No, most probably I will execute this program and I will show the answer, right? Result.
Okay, sir. Like someone is equal to some two.
Yeah. Next one. Here, next one, when we look at the next step, yeah, what is the purpose of LEA instruction? Load effective address, right? That means it is going to load the half set of that particular variable. Okay, that means usually where it is, the someone is that variable is available in data segment. We are storing the half set. That means half set of that particular variable in SA register, right? That is source index register. Similarly, LEA load effective address DI comma sum2. That means we are loading the offset of sum2 into the register di. Okay, so SI and DI registers, okay, both have the offsets of sum1 and sum2 variables respectively. Right. After that, suppose we are going to here I wrote a instruction move CX comma contents of SI. In that context, what will happen? Okay, content. Okay, yes, contents of that particular SI register is going to be stored in CX, right? So what is there in that SI? SI is the offset of this one, right? Okay, in that context, what is going to be stored in CX register? This is a kind of indirect addressing mode, right? This is an instruction for indirect addressing mode. Are you with me?
Yes, sir. So essentially, the address of S1 itself will be stored in CX, right?
Not address of someone.
Okay, so that is dereferencing
Yes,
okay.
address of someone, right? Similarly, DI consists of address of sum2. Okay. Yes, within this square brackets, we can put a SI. That means what will happen? Okay, contents at that particular memory address. Okay, within the square brackets DI. That means contents at that particular address. Okay, here in the first step, what will happen? Contents at the particular memory address is going to be stored into the CX register. Okay, later we are going to perform add CX comma contents of within the square brackets DI. That means contents at this particular memory location. Okay, DI points to the which memory location? DI points to the sum2. Okay, contents at that memory location is added to the contents of the CX and result is stored in CX register. Are you with me? This is kind of indirect addressing mode. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Next, after that, we can also use some that displacement addressing mode also, right? Here, one more, I wrote it as move dx comma contents of SI. That means within square brackets SI. That what SI consists of? SI consists of address of someone, right? Okay, contents at that memory location is loaded into the DX register. After that, I'm going to add 2 to those contents. That means usually when we look at the code, usually what will happen? Sum is declared first, right? After that, sum2 is declared first. Declared next. Okay. What is this sum? Sum is of type DW. That means define word. Define word occupies 2 bytes of memory space. Though sum2 is available from SI plus 2. In this context, suppose when I write this instruction, what will happen? Okay, contents of sum2 is going to be added with the contents of DX register, and result is going to be stored in the DX register, and result is going to be stored in DX registers. That is the purpose of all these statements. Are you with me?
Sir, can you explain SI and DI? Why are we using SI and DI?
No. SI and DI is the source index and DI is the destination index, right? Suppose if if you declared int a equal to star p, what is the meaning of that? You are familiar with C programming, right?
Yes, sir.
Suppose if you declared a equal to star p, what will happen?
So will A store the address of P?
No, p is a pointer.
Yes. So sorry.
P is a pointer. When we put star before that pointer, that what will happen? Value at that address value at that address is loaded into the variable A. That is the meaning of the statement A equal to star P. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, here also that instruction is also going to work in the same way.
Right, so thank you.
Right, good. Okay.
Sir, can you tell me that SI plus 2 thing, sir? I didn't quite catch that one.
Yes, simple thing, right? Yes, when we look at the data segment, this is the data segment, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, all the variables are of type DW, right?
Yes, sir.
DW stands for define word, right?
Yes, sir.
Each word is going to occupy 2 bytes of memory space.
Right. Okay, so this is SI plus 2 is nothing but DI.
Some 2. Yes, yeah, nothing but DI.
Okay,
Good.
okay, sir.
Good. Good. Right. Next, last 2 statements are the to exit from the given code.
So I have a doubt as well.
Yes. Go ahead.
Sir, in someone DW1 dupe and 0, what is this 1 doing there?
Oh, no, DW1 dupe means actually we are someone. Someone is a variable, okay, which is of type word. Okay, how many such type of things are there? Only one. Suppose if you want to create an array,
Okay, sir.
okay, there instead of that we can write 10. Instead of 1 we can write 10. Then what will happen? It is going to create 10 variables, which is of type define word. Okay, right. Initial value of those each variable is 0. Okay, anyhow, I will explain the purpose of that in the next lab session, right?
Okay,
At this
sir.
point of time, don't worry about that particular instruction. Anyhow, when I discuss transfer of a data from one block to another block, okay, I will explain the purpose of that instruction in detail.
Okay, sir. Thank you,
Right.
sir.
Good. Next, I would like to show the execution of this code. Yes. What is our program name? easy2.asm, right? Masm. Masm. easy2, sorry. easy2.asm. Okay. It is successfully compiled. Object file is generated. We are going to link it. Link easy2.obj. Object file. Okay, then what will happen? Executable file is generated. Right. So here is to see the contents of the registers, we are using the debugger. Debug easy2.exe. P, proceed. Right. So initially, yes, so first instruction is going to be executed, and the next instruction, which instruction is going to be executed? Move ds comma ax. In that context, what will happen? Contents of the ax register and ds register should be the same. Check it. After executing this step, contents of the ax register and contents of the ds register both are same, right? Next one. Now, what is the next? Which instruction is going to be executed in the next step? That is move ax comma 1111. That step is going to be executed. That means we are moving that particular value into the ax register. See. Now ax values of ax contents of ax register is 1111. What is the next instruction? Okay, next add ax comma 2222. That means we are going to add 2222 to the contents of the ax register and we are going to store the result in the AX. So result of AX register value of AX register is 3,333. 3,333. So first part is completed. Next one. What is the next step? Next, we are going to store whole result into the variable sum1. Okay. So when we look at the code segment, what is there in the first one? When we look at the data segment, what is there in the data segment? First variable 1 is there, that occupies 2 bytes. Next variable 2 is there, that occupies 2 bytes. Next sum1 is there. Okay, that is why actually here move within the square brackets, you can see that 0004, that is the address of that particular variable. Okay, comma AX. Right. Here you cannot see that, but later we are going to use that value. We can cross check it. Are we getting the same value or not? Next one. Move BX comma within the square brackets. What is that 000? That is variable 1, right? When we look at the code, okay, what is the next step? Move BX comma variable 1. So BX consists of all 4 ones. Okay, 1111. Next, add BX comma variable 2. That means we are adding the contents of variable 2 to the contents of BX register, and we are storing the result in the BX register. Right. Now what BX consists of value 3,333. Next, we are storing that particular value, contents of the BX, into the variable sum2. Sum2 is available at the memory location, okay, 0006. That is why within the square brackets, we actually assembler generated that particular instruction, move within the square brackets 0006. That is address of the variable sum2 comma BX. Yes, that is going to be stored in that particular memory location. Okay. Now, what is this? This is the LEA, load effective address. Okay. SI comma 0004. What is the 0004? 0004 is the address of the variable sum1. Address of variable sum1. Okay. Right. We are storing the effective address of that, right? SI. See, SI consists of the value 00004. Next, LEA DI comma yes 0006. That means DI stores that particular value. See, DI consists DI equal to 0006. That will be there in there. Next, after that, okay, move CX comma contents of that particular SI. That means value stored at that address is moved into the CX register. Okay, what is the value stored at SI? SI consists of 0004, right? Okay, what is the value stored at that particular address? That address is sum1. Sum1 is 3,333. See whether do we get that particular value or not. Yes, when we look at the CX register is 3,333. Clear? Next one is add CX comma within the within the square brackets DI. That means value stored at that address is going to be added to the contents of the CX register, and result is available in the CX register itself. In that context, what may be the result of CX register? CX consists of 6,666. Check it. 6,666. Okay. After that, yes. What is the next step? Next step is move dx comma contents of the SI. In that context, dx consists of 3,333. When we execute that one, dx consists of 3,333. Next, add dx comma within square brackets SI plus 2. First, it is going to calculate SI plus 2. SI value is 4. When we add 2 to that, it consists of 6. Okay. Value at that address. Okay. Value at that address is going to be added to the contents of the DX register, and result is stored in the DX register. Now DX also consists of 6,666. Last two steps are terminating a program. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Done. Yeah. Here, till now we discussed about yes, how to write a very simple basic program, and there we need to use stand input output device, right? Now here this is a very basic program. Okay, it tells us about how to read a character and how to display a character on the screen. Okay, when we look at this code, right? Yes, assume this. I explained about this particular part. Okay, here what we need to do. Actually, we also covered this particular part also. What we need to do, we need to understand these 5 steps. Okay, move AH comma 01H. Well, then what will happen into 21H? That means actually to read a character from the input, a standard input. Okay. Actually, again, it reads a character from the standard input by using the concept of interrupts. Okay. Yes. Then appropriate interrupt routine is going to be called. That interrupt routine is responsible to read a character from the standard input device. Okay. So to read a character, what we need to do? We need to pass 01H. That means 01 into the AH register. When we pass 01 into the AH registers and we call INT21, okay, that is interrupt routine 21H, then what will happen is it is going to call, it is going to read a character, reads a character from the stand input device and stores that character into AL register. That stores that character into AL register. Okay, that is the purpose of these 2 steps. Okay, once the data is available in AL register, right? Suppose if you want to print a character, okay, that character should be available in DL register. Then only it can be printed on the screen. Okay, that is why before going to call another interrupt, okay, first what are we doing? We are moving contents of the AL register into the DL register. That means what we read from the stand input device, okay, we moved that particular character into the DL register. Later we are calling another interrupt routine. Okay, so in interrupt 21H. Okay, before calling that, okay, we are passing the some value into the AH register. That value is 0 to H. Okay, that is responsible to display the character on the standard output device. Okay, yes. Suppose if you are able to, yes, we should remember these 2 things. Okay, or otherwise you can use the manual also. Okay, Yes, 01 is for reading a character and 02 is for displaying a character. Okay. Anyhow, we know the purpose of this INT21H. That's it. Suppose when we try to execute this particular code, see what will happen. Uh, are you able to see the screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Hello. Okay. MASM EZ3.asm link EZ3.obj. Next, after that, here suppose here we are taking the input from the stand input output device, right? Yes, we can directly use it, right? We can execute it, right? That is EZ3.exe, right? It is suppose if we enter H, yes, one H, I entered only one H, that it reads a character, right? And again, in our code, actually same character is going to be displayed on the screen. That is why second H. Okay. Suppose if we execute something, suppose if we enter K, that same K is going to be displayed. That is a purpose of reading a character and displaying a character. Are you with me? Right. That is for only one character. Suppose in the context of strings, okay, how do we read a string and display a string? Right. Here, when we look at a code, right? Okay, that is this is a program example easy4.asm, right? And the purpose of this code is per, the main purpose of this code is display a string, okay, on the screen, okay, right. Here, when we look at this particular code, the data segment, here we declared two strings. First one is str1. Okay, it is of type byte. Actually, we are for this to store this string, we are using a byte addressable memory. That means each character is going to occupy 1 byte of memory space. First string consists of the letters CSE, and this is 0AH and 0DH. Okay, purpose of 0AH is carriage return. Okay, and 0DH is a new line feed. Okay, carriage return means actually cursor is written to the beginning of that line. Line feed, the 0DH means the next line. That is why when we look at our enter key in our keyboard, there is just vertical line and followed by horizontal line back, right? And there is an arrow. What it means is carriage return and a new line feed. That means as cursor comes to the beginning of that line and next line. Okay, that is the purpose of this those two codes. That is 0AH comma 0DH. Dollar is used to identify the end of the string. Okay, usually in C, we are going to use /o, right? At the end of the string, we are going to use \o, right? Similarly, here dollar is used to identify the end of the string. Here we declared two strings, that is CSC is one string, 2018 is another string, STR1 and STR2. We are going to display those two strings in two different lines. Okay. Yes. Here, when we look at this code segment, first part is same, right? This is move AX comma data and move DS comma AX. Yes, and the last part is also same as the previous program. Here, what we need to do, we have to remember this particular part. Okay. Here, that particular to actually to print a particular string. That means base address of that particular string is should be available in DX register. Base address of that particular string is available in a DX register. So suppose if you want to write the statement before that move also, no problem. Okay. Yes. Here LEA comma DX comma STR1. That means base address of that particular string is available in DX register. Similarly, LEA comma DX comma STR2. That means base address of the string STR2 is available in DX register. To print a string, we need to call another interrupt routine. Okay. Yes, that routine's parameter argument value is 09H. Okay. When we move 9H into the AX register, okay, and then we call INT21H, then what will happen is the purpose of that particular interrupt call is it is going to display a string on the screen. Okay, suppose instead of 09H, when we use A, that means 10, actually, right? 10 in decimal and in hexadecimal 0A. So in that context, purpose of that is reading a string. Okay, here our objective is we want to display a string on the screen. That is why we moved the argument value 09 into the register AH, right? Later we are calling INT21H. In that context, what will happen is this particular string 1 is going to be printed on the screen. Similarly, before going to call here to print a string 2, first we need to move base address of that particular string into the DX register, then we can call the particular interrupt routine. Right. When we try to execute that particular code, see what will happen. Here, what is this program? Program is EZ4, right? MASM EZ4.asm. Okay, link EZ4.asm. After that, just execute EZ4.exe. Okay, CSC and 2018 both are displayed on the screen. Okay, similarly, okay, you can write a program to read a string from the keyboard from the standard input device. Right? These are the 4 programs, right? Most probably in the next class, okay, I will explain about yes, how to take an input from the how to read a string from the keyboard, okay, and how to print it, okay, how to transfer a block of data from one memory location to another memory location. I will explain it in the next class. I think based on this input, I hope that all of you can execute the program, lab 4 programs now, right? I think you can comfortably execute lab 4 programs, right? Hello? Hello?
So you want You want us to do it in NASM or MASM? We can use MASM only, sir.
No. Actually, I would like to prefer if you complete those two programs both. First, do it by using MASM. Okay. Later, try to execute the same programs by using NASM. Okay. How to use NASM? I will share few video lectures, right? I will share around 6 videos. Altogether, it is around 30 minutes or 40 minutes videos, right? Based on those videos, try to execute on your own. Okay, if you have any problem, most probably I will cover it in one of the lab sessions. Here I covered MASM. I will cover NASM in one of the lab sessions, right?
So, sir, you want us to submit the assignment in MASM and then try NASM on our own, right?
Yes, but if you submit it by using both, then it is good. Otherwise, you can submit it by using any one of those, either MASM or NASM.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
So, what is the deadline, sir?
Yeah, deadline is most probably the next Friday, next Thursday.
All right, sir. Thank you.
Okay, right. So in the today's lab session, okay, what you need to do is try to execute all the programs what I discussed in today's class. Okay. At the same time, I will share few video lectures. Okay, you can try to execute these programs by using NASM. Okay, good.
Sir.
Okay. Yes.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
Sir, this is roll number 540, sir. Did you receive my attendance?
No.
Oh, sir, like I told my attendance. I guess my voice wasn't heard.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
So 534 also, sir.
534. Okay.
Sir, 532 also.
590.
519, sir.
519. Okay, fine.
563.
63. Okay.
532, sir.
Oh, okay, done.
29, sir. Just one.
Okay, right, fine. Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, could you upload this lecture video, sir, in Google Drive?
Sure.
Thank you, sir.